Man United 1, Fulham 1. United are out of the cup on penalties. I'm joined by Stephen Howson. Steve, the result, the performance, it all felt very familiar tonight, didn't it?
Yeah, mate. Groundhog Day is about as apt a title as I could probably think of at the moment for how this is going. How do we do? Was Rasmus any good? No. Cool. Did the keeper fill everyone with confidence and like everyone think it was Schmeichel reincarnated? No. Did we fail to create loads and loads of chances? Yeah. Did Bruno semi-bail us out of the shit? Yeah. Did Garnacho come on and have the decision making of a fucking drunk cat? Yeah. Did he change all the centre halves with substitutions? Yeah. Yeah, so same as like the last 30 games or something. Yeah, sound.
It is becoming quite predictable at this point, isn't it? Just like, obviously, with it being the cup, and this was one of the kind of two avenues, not of like worrying about what it gets you for Europe or whatever, but just a little bit of joy this season. Getting to a cup, even making it to Wembley would have been something nice. Does it just add another level of like, how are we going to see this team turn any corner this season now? It feels like we're just losing any opportunities and momentum whatsoever.
Yeah, it's dire, mate.
Yeah,
it's really hard work.
Do you see any chance of it turning around? Not like, oh, look at us, we're on league winning form, but like, oh, I can see what Amorim's trying to do. Do you think that's even an option between now and May?
No, because I don't see individual players really improving. I mean, I thought Xerxes is worth mentioning for some of the stuff that I saw him doing today. But there was at times today where he looked like fucking Gloria out of Madagascar. That's the hippo in case anyone's not got kids, right? Where he just completely fucking had it bouncing off him. So for every good thing that he did and bit of guile that he's got where he shows it, then he also just looks like this fucking hippo, for want of a better word. Rasmus Højlund, absolutely maddeningly shit. Like, there was a bloke walked past me as I was leaving, and he went, Højlund did as much in that last 60 minutes as he did in the first. And I laughed out loud because he's fucking bang on with it. I thought it was one of the most astute fucking pieces of analysis I've seen in fucking years. Cheeto probably did more. Certainly felt like more of a threat, even though you can still tell he's miles off being ready to play for Manchester United first team. He's still a better choice than the guy we paid 72 fucking million for. It just feels. You've got Casemiro coming on, and he's doing the same sort of things as Xerxes, where sometimes I go, fucking quality, I'm glad we've got Casemiro still. And he's just passed it to space.
Yeah.
Like, for every step forward that the team takes, you're taking one back. I thought Ligt was probably my man of the match today because he was putting in some like monster tackles at times when it needed someone to put in a monster tackle. And apart from that, there was nothing to get excited about.
Yeah. No, I thought Ligt was doing some good sprinting up and down as well. You could see he was working hard. He's got a bit of kind of like, I'll do this for me even if no one else is doing it kind of thing about him, which I quite like, and we need more of that in the squad. In terms
of, like he hurt himself as well. Like,
yeah.
Lindelof was fannying about, jockeying someone, and he's just come in and carted him inside the box, ball and all tackle, and you're thinking, fucking go on. It was the perfect tackle at the perfect time, and it was actually a perfectly legit tackle as well, but he hurt himself doing it. And then when we're making all the extra subs, he's taking Maguire off, and you're thinking, I know De Ligt's hurt it, and we've left him on, and then he still managed to do a couple of other carting tackles as well after that.
Yeah, he did. He was good. I thought Bruno, again, like you said before, did his best to bail us out, but couldn't do it all by himself. And more week by week, it's like everyone expects him to do it. They all sort of turn to him, or he gets the ball and then it's, okay, now what's going to happen? When everyone else gets it, it's we're going to lose it here, or, oh, no worries, you've lost it. When Bruno gets it, the expectations actually go, right, make something now. Do you think that pressure on him is fair? Do you think that there's any way really he can kind of do the thing that we all want him to do, which is pull us out of the shit, or is that just an impossible task for any one player?
I think it's an impossible task, to be honest. I think he's probably one of the true people that's of a Man United quality. And I kind of got a little bit of what Roy Keane was getting at last week in terms of him being this leader. But But I just thought it was the wrong target that was not needed at the time that he decided to, like, what a passionate rant that was from Roy Keane. Like, he looks like this is a man that tells you he's not arsed about Manchester United.
Yeah.
Like, he was very arsed about Manchester United. And I think he made some of the stuff he's talking about made sense, but the decision and the timing of it made no sense whatsoever. It was just like he woke up on the wrong side of bed and decided Bruno's having it today, and that's that. I agree with him to a greater or lesser point that in eras gone by, Bruno wouldn't have been the captain of Manchester United, but you're not in the eras gone by. And if it's not Bruno, is it Harry Maguire? Because no, right? Is it Luke Shaw? Because no. Who is it? Who else has been here more than 5 minutes that you could even consider giving the armband to? Like, legitimately, that entire team at the moment hasn't been here for long. Casemiro? No. Like, who else here has got even 100 games in them? Garnacho? Right, yeah. All right, let's give it Garnacho. That seems a perfectly fucking logical thing to do.
Yeah. No, there's literally no other option. Like, in terms of...
Oh, Rashford. Oh,
yeah.
Probably not, eh?
Yeah, that feels unlikely, doesn't it, considering he's playing for Aston Villa. I do think that maybe one day Ligt could do it. I do think he's got that potential, maybe. But like you said, he's been here 5 minutes. Like, you couldn't... That's not... You know, it has to be Bruno. And like you said, I think it was slightly misguided. Just sort of bigger picture. I know we do this a lot, but did you think we'd be better than this by now? Did you think we would see more of Amorim's? I know the way it's gone all kind of makes sense. But when Amorim came in, if I said to you, Sunday the 2nd of March, we are 14th in the Premier League, we can't string 3 passes together, and our 2 strikers haven't scored for a combined 31 games, did you think it would be like this?
No, I didn't think it'd get worse, to be honest. I think I might have said when Ten Hag was going, like, there's no guarantees it gets better.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it would have got drastically worse, and I think it kind of has got drastically worse. And you know, I saw something about him supposedly saying that the ones who know they're staying, and the ones that I don't want, no, I don't want them. And you think, okay, has that led to some of the shit that we're seeing towards the back end of the season, where people is not necessarily have down tools, but know there's no future for them at Manchester United and are playing like that because it might explain some of the performances that we're seeing? But it's just an absolute lack of fucking basics. You know, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Manchester United became phenomenal at third man run stuff. Yeah, back and through, finding a third man, real fluid forward play. We were tactically astute off the back foot, which is mental considering that people accused of us of just having vibes. How much would you pay for some vibes right now? Jesus fucking Christ.
I'd kill for some vibes right now. I'd kill for it.
But we played very offensive, very free-flowing, very direct football. Now, I don't think you've quite got the personnel that you had there. You certainly don't have a Pogba anymore. You certainly don't have a Marcus Rashford in that sort of mentality. Even the likes of Lukaku and stuff that you had at the time that, you know, for whatever reason, had decided that they'd started to toss it off a little bit by then. But, you know, there was still a better selection of players. But what you were getting out of them was so much more of a tune. I could argue that I think the defence is better now in terms of personnel than what you had then. But why aren't we seeing rotations like that? Why am I not seeing some one-touch football like that? The one massive noticeable change from Ten Hag to Ruben Amorim is the pace of our game is very deliberate, very deliberate. It's almost like everyone has to take 2 touches. And I'm told that, obviously Harry Maguire has to take 7, but everyone's got to take 2 touches. It's very slow. We don't attack with pace. We don't attack with guile and risk. It's very, very, very deliberate. And there was a few times even when Fulham took the ball off us and they knitted a nice little fucking get out of danger triangle, switch play, and then attacked us with a little bit of pace. And they were shit as well. Like, it's it feels like, I mean, it's entirely possible. You've seen it with the likes of Forest recently. You know, they just have a massive turnaround from one season to the next, but I don't know why they did that. I don't go, oh, it was because of X, Y, and Z, and it was dead straightforward. I don't know how they'd managed to do that, and I don't know if that's even possible with someone like United. Can you go from being fucking 16th to top 4 next season. Maybe, right? Yeah, I guess. I mean, Leicester did it. They literally went from that to champions, but doesn't feel likely. You know, there was 5,000 to 1 for a reason. Don't think it's going to happen next year, for starters. Is one player going to fix that? Doesn't feel like one player could fix that, to be honest. Unless that player is... What, is it Johan Cruyff? Is it a 21-year-old Johan Cruyff? Is it a fucking 21-year-old Roy Keane? Because I think if you had both of those, you probably still struggle to break into the top 10.
Bit of a worry, innit?
No, I don't think it is a quick fix. I don't think there is a quick fix possibility. I think, you know, there's still a lot. And here's the other thing. We said it last week. You're not sacking all your fucking cleaners and telling people they're not allowed soup and then spending 300 million in the summer transfer window. That doesn't feel like the same organisation's able to do that.
It's going to be a tough one, isn't it? I mean, hopefully the 4 players or 100 million or 250, whatever it may be that we do spend, you spend it right, that's a step in the right direction at least. It feels like we're at a culmination of many, many steps in the wrong direction. And now we've got to just go, it's going to be a long journey back to even where we were under Solskjaer, but let's start walking in the right, in the right way at least, because for now it feels like everything we do, like you said, it's one step forward, one step backwards. We're just stuck. We just stay here. And I hope Amorim doesn't get sort of chewed up in the process of this, because if we win 4 games between now and the end of the season, his reputation might be in tatters before the summer's even come round. And are they going to want to spend 200 million on his players if it looks like the squad of down tools?
This fella's got to try and convince players to come and join us.
Yeah.
You know, if people are watching him, you know, on one hand, fans do love the honesty, but if he's out here borderline calling his players shit in press conferences, some agents are too protective of players to be like, he ain't going there, because if my asset, my money, my rent gets paid through this fucking guy playing for Manchester United, I don't want him there. Because it might go sideways, and if it does, that manager is going to tell the world that my asset is dog shit. No, we're not going there. We'll go somewhere else. That's a reality that people often forget. Yeah. As much as players want to play for certain clubs, even if the player wants to, there's a myriad of people that get involved in the decision-making of that shit that happens. And I don't know, you talk about Manchester United spending 150 million. What if we don't?
Surely.
What if it's 4 or 5 signings that are like Heaven and Cheeto? Because actually, we're trying to build for something like that 4 or 5 years down the line. That's 4 or 5 years of absolute graft, by the way.
Yeah. Well, that's worst case scenario. Hopefully, we do have a bit of money. Hopefully, we can bring someone in. It's one of the.
Or is it a very fucking likely scenario?
It's not impossible, but it's one of the worst scenarios. Worst scenario, should I say? It's in the bottom 50% of how I'd like it to go in the summer. Yeah, I would say so. But you know, at the minute, everything's in the bottom 50% of how we'd like it to go. So who knows? Cheers, Steve. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining us at home as well. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll see you in a bit.